Ahoy, crypto pirates. Thanks for being at Discourse Syndicate's Wake Up Hex with Kinetics. And we got a special guest here. We got two special guests today. Number one, we got the captain himself, looking all dapper and spiff, and we love it. How you doing, Captain?
Hey, bro. So the only reason I crashed your stream this morning is because Give Me Liberty was like, oh, RG, the captain can't give up his stream, so he's got to show up. So I'm just showing up to scare him one last time because I know the only reason he doesn't want me on is so that he can get his country club buddies into Hex and not have to show them what's really behind the Discourse Syndicate. So
That's right.
here I am, Liberty, one more time to scare the hell out of you.
So one more episode that he cannot show his buddies. Thanks, Captain. Thanks, Captain, for ruining that for everybody. We're trying to onboard people. I don't know if you knew this, but
Hey, man, what's crypto worth if you're not having fun, right?
that's right, man. That is, if there's not one thing that we do best, it's have fun in this community. So, especially with these cutthroats, man, uh, we are definitely a motley crew. And no, that's not intended towards you, motley investor, although you are part of that motley crew. So, I know he's watching right now. He can't be on the stream at this time, but I know he's watching. So,
Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit back here for a minute and I know you got an awesome guest. I want you to go ahead and introduce him. I'm gonna sit here like a fly on a wall for a minute. And if I got a couple questions, but then I'm gonna jump off. So have at it, bro.
sounds good. Well, let me introduce right now, and many of you might have seen him in Twitter as well as Coffee's channel, because I know a lot of us watch a lot of the same channels, and he was a guest on Coffee's channel. Today I have Mr. Tao of Satoshi. Chris, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can
All
hear
right.
you loud and clear, man. Sounds
Nice.
good. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on the show because actually I relate with pirates. I went to Disney World one time and I was dressed up as Jack Sparrow, and they actually thought that I was Jack Sparrow, and they actually wanted to get like autographs from me.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so I definitely the pirate motif is something up my alley.
Yeah, I love it. Well,
Yeah.
it's either you're a pirate or you're a ninja, and I think the pirate theme fits us a lot better here in this community. So
Yeah. And I'm happy to have the captain with us, even if he's driving right now. But it's cool to have him with us.
yeah, well, it's always a pleasure to have the guy on here. So he dirties up the stream a little bit. This is a little more professional, a little more business the morning show, but at least he shows up in a collared shirt, so, and no bandana.
Nice. No, I think there's room for both in cryptocurrency. You know, like I think there's room for like the professionalism, and then there's room for the fun. Like, because what's the point of the professionalism if you can't have fun? You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, just don't watch last night's episode because we got a little dirty. I mean, I shouldn't say that's not in a bad term. Just we didn't show our professional sides last night. That's for sure. So,
Right.
but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
You let your hair down. It's all good.
yeah, absolutely. So I am glad that you could join us today. I also believe, as you do, and Coffee believes, that there is a bridge to be built between our two communities.
Yeah.
I think you guys, your coin and your community serve a purpose that Hex is not aiming to serve, but is still a very underserved purpose at this point in time that I think there can be with the advancements that your coin has come along with, and the things that it can do that we will never aim to do. That's not our strength, and it's not our purpose of existence. And I think there's a bond and a definitely a bridge to be built between the two. And I've seen you say as much on Twitter. Can you tell me a little bit about what you see between the two communities and how that bridge could be built?
Well, it's basically like what you said. It's kind of like a yin and yang. Like one is serving one purpose and one is serving the other purpose. Like you're not going to go into Hex for somebody like to try to spend your money, and you're not going to go into Dash to save. Although you can, if you have a master node, you can do staking and you can get rewards and stuff like that. But it's not up to the level that Hex is, because Hex is designed to do that, right? Whereas in Dash, it's kind of like a reward for performing services. but in Hex, it's kind of it's like an actual interest, right?
Yes.
So this is something that I think that could help both parties, because if you're in Hex, you're saving your money. You want to, but you don't want to spend the huge Ethereum fees to go out and buy something. So you can just switch your money to Dash and then go and have at it. And then the same thing with Dash. If you have that and you have too much money, you have more money than you want to spend, then you can throw that into Hex. So I think that definitely the synergy between the two communities is definitely good.
Absolutely. That's kind of, even before you had said it on Coffee's channel, I kind of made the distinction that I think there's a place for, Hex being the long-term CD / savings account / ladder of perpetual wealth. And at the same time being able to transpire that spending into a Dash coin, and because you guys have that payment network, you have a way that makes it easier, very similar to PayPal in the way that you can essentially just send it. I don't know how you guys link it. I need to talk to you more on that, but essentially you can just email a Dash payment. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a few ways that you can do it. The most low-tech way is through SMS. So we have a service called Dash Text. And you can actually send the Dash through text messages. And there's some that what do you call it? There's some like demonstrations online that he's actually buying something, and like you'll see him like do his text, and then it'll show up on Bitrefill, and it'll like process right away, and then he's got the payment, and you're like, what? You just sent a text message? How is this possible? But you can do that in Dash. Of course, yeah, you can send emails too. But the biggest thing that's going to be coming up is the actual Dash platform, where like picture like something like an app store for crypto. So like if a company like Coca-Cola wants to sell their products on this Dash platform, they can start a Dash app, and then you can make payments through the platform. And the coolest thing about it is that you only need one login to log into the whole ecosystem, similar to the App Store, right? And then you can download all these different apps. That's what we're trying to do in the long term, and through Dash platform. So using Dash is going to be so easy. It's going to be like all these different apps that you can use. But the first one obviously is going to be the Dash wallet. And that's going to be coming out with the first version of Dash platform. Right now it's on testnet. But yeah, it's very exciting.
Will you keep us apprised on Twitter and maybe even come on and do an update with us on the show?
Yeah,
let us know.
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, great, because we'd like to know more, definitely. I know you've been in this community even longer than I have, because I've been in crypto since late 2016, early 2017. I didn't actually jump in until 2017, but I did a lot of research in 2016, and you've been here with the Dash community since when was it even before Dash. Give me a little bit of history on how you got into crypto.
Yeah, well, basically mine is kind of an interesting story, because I actually stumbled upon crypto because I just wanted to get American Netflix here in Canada, because I'm from Canada, right? So they have a lot more, like some variety, a lot more things you can watch on it. And I was like, okay, I got to find out a way to get American Netflix. So they said you needed to get like a VPN, right? So in order to change your address or whatever. So then I go to a VPN chat room, and I'm looking for the best service. And then I go in and they say, well, you should use this one because it's private. They accept Bitcoin. And I'm like, what the heck's Bitcoin? So I kind of asked him a question. He never answered me. But then I went down the rabbit hole, and I found out what Bitcoin was, and then I was hooked. So it probably took me about 2 weeks from the time that I initially found out about Bitcoin to when I was ready to invest, because I said, you know what, this is the way of the future. Yeah. But then after I had my stack of Bitcoin, then I was like, I see some other coins out there that I might want to be interested in. And Evan Duffield was bringing privacy into crypto more than Bitcoin ever wanted to. He actually approached the Bitcoin devs and said, can we change Bitcoin to make it a little bit more private? And they kind of told him to take a hike. So he went and started his own coin, which was Xcoin at the time, and it turned into Darkcoin. And this was the name for privacy. And I said, you know what, this is something that I can really get behind, because I really value privacy in crypto. And so then I invested in that, and the rest is history.
Oh, that's great. Because a lot of us here in our community, we wholeheartedly agree with you that there needs to be private transactions for the sovereignty of your money, because you may not be able to censor the blockchain, but if you know the destination and the recipient and the person sending just from a wallet, then you can essentially in the real world create that censorship through a police state or blacklist people that can do business with you. And I think private sovereignty of money is a civil right, and I think we'll see that fight coming at a pretty soon. I think it'll come sooner than later, but it's just a matter of time as more people adopt the blockchain and adopt these coins. And so that's one thing I like about Dash, is that you guys, let me circle back real quick. The many a coin have come to the Bitcoin devs and said, hey, we'd like to improve Bitcoin. And Bitcoin pretty much says, shove off. And they turn around and they end up creating their own coin. Hence, we would probably have Ethereum type ERC20s on Bitcoin had they not shoved Vitalik off. And so the same thing with a lot of these privacy coins, and it's the same with Dash as well. So what advancements has Dash made in the recent years in the way of a privacy, and how does the privacy work versus some of the other coins?
Okay, so with Dash, like you might be familiar with Monero, they use like cryptographic privacy on chain. So you send a coin and it doesn't know where it went. I'm not sure exactly how it works, to be honest. But with Dash, it's kind of like yeah, all that stuff. I really didn't get involved with it because Dash was my chosen coin, and I'm going to explain why. So like basically that Monero in the future might be subject to like, how they're coming up with the quantum computers and the computing keeps going higher and higher. Because it's cryptographic, it's kind of going to be susceptible to that in the future. In my opinion, I don't know if it will or not, but I think that over time, the cryptographic signatures that they use will probably get busted by the higher level of technology. Whereas with Dash, it's kind of like a 1,000-player game of 3-card money. You said your transactions in, they get mixed up all over the place, and then and you can go round after round. You go like 1 round, 2 rounds. I think the default right now is 4, maybe 8, but the highest you can go is 16. So if you do 16 rounds of mixing, there's like absolutely no way that they're going to know where these came from. It's exponential, and a private send transaction's never been broken. So that's why I say it, because no matter how far the technology goes, this is still the same thing. It's not going to be able to be broken that way. So
I like that.
That's the one reason why I wanted to be in crypto. But in Dash. But this other one thing I wanted to say about it too is that for privacy, a lot of people say it's because people want to do like criminal activities, and that's not true. Like
I agree.
There's a lot of people out there that might just want to hide their finances. Like you're not going to want to go to like a coffee shop and pay with Dash, and then they know exactly where your money's coming from. They know how much you have in your bank account. It's like posting your bills on your front door. A lot of people don't understand that. Privacy is not just criminality. Privacy is just like keeping your, you don't want people to know, like it's for security reasons too. People know that you're rich, they're going to come in, you're going to be a target.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And we've had this discussion before, that if you're a business owner like myself, I don't really want my employee, if I'm paying them in crypto, I don't really want them knowing what's in my account. I don't want them coming back and arguing later, well, I know you have this much money, why can't you pay me more? Well, I'm sorry. And I don't want to have that uncomfortable discussion of, well, the services you provide just don't quantify to me a higher payment than what I'm paying you. So there's no way that I could ever go to the bank and to my employer's bank and say, hey, can you tell me their account balance?
Yeah, exactly.
So from a business standpoint, from a personal sovereignty, rights of money and civil rights, I don't think that it's a way. I don't think that the blockchain as it exists today will continue forward, not without some kind of uproar from the community. So I like what Dash is doing in those regards. And so you guys use a larger anonymity set versus a cryptographic way of privatizing those transactions. And I really like that. I've actually heard that that's one of the better ways. Now, I have never done any of the computing or the formulas to figure out if that is the case, but it makes sense to me that there's a potential in the future that if it's cryptographically hidden, that there might be a way through advancements in computers, especially quantum computing, that they might be able to break that at some point in time.
Yep. And yeah, that's the thing, like I don't think a lot of people like try to tell me like from Monero, there's a big rivalry back in the day between Dash and Monero. Like Monero saying, oh, Dash sucks for privacy, or like they're trying to troll us all the time. Any kind of little mistake that we make, they blow it out of proportion. You know, like it was a big rivalry. Like if you go to Bitcoin Talk, our announcement thread is like probably approaching like 1 billion views right now. Like it's the most viewed. It's the most viewed thread on Bitcoin Talk, and that was where our main method of communication back then. But but anyway, what I was saying is that a lot of times I think Monero wants to be known as that privacy coin, and they want to be on the darknet markets and stuff like that. Whereas with Dash, we just want to be a digital cash, and part of being a digital cash is to have that, you know, fungibility, you know, where there's no way of knowing where this coin came from, just like there's no way of knowing where that dollar bill came from. It's the same thing. We want to have that physical money in a digital form, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be a payment network that has that option of privacy. You don't have to. Like there's also some ways that you might want to be like transparent, like say for charities or something like that. Yeah. But there's also ways that you want to be fungible, and that's where we come in, where that's digital cash, and that's our focus. And not criminality, but just a dollar bill being a dollar bill type of thing.
Well, I think that's a lazy argument. The whole you want to be a bad actor, and that's why you want to privatize your transactions. No, I'm sorry. There's a censorship that can happen in the real world if you know who the sender and the recipient of these transactions are. And so what I do with my money, aside, and I'm not even talking about trying to skirt my tax liabilities and launder money, because I don't believe anyone should do that. I think you should report correctly, but that should be between you and the government directly, and not for everyone visible on the blockchain.
Absolutely.
So I think that will come farther in this discussion as we go along. But I worry, and have you seen this yet in the Dash community, that there's certain exchanges or certain actors that don't want to deal in Dash because of the anonymity set?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of regulation around the world that's coming against the private coins. And also we're getting lumped in with coins like Monero and Zcash. Especially in Japan, right? We used to be on some Japanese exchanges. They just cut us cold turkey because there's regulation over there. They say that we're a privacy coin, but this is what our the head of Dash Core Group. We have a decentralized autonomous organization, so we pay for contractors to run the Dash code, and the biggest contractor we have is the Dash Core Group. So the head of the Dash Core Group is basically like our public relations. Like we're like interacting with different legal entities around the world. So basically, he came up with this letter, and they're saying, "Listen, you can do a private send transaction on Bitcoin, which you can." Somebody did a private send transaction on Bitcoin, and they say, "If we can do this same thing on Bitcoin, why are you separating us from them just because we're making it easy to use in the wallet?" You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of education to do out there with these regulators that are putting us in the same boat as Monero and Zcash, which we shouldn't be. So it's just a matter of getting that education out there.
Yeah.
What was your question? Did I answer your question? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I was just curious if there was any pushback because of the anonymity.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So there is, there's a lot of people that have that misunderstanding about Dash, and this is what I think Hex goes into too. A lot of people are misunderstanding Hex, and that's why I don't know if you saw my tweet from a while back. I was saying I kind of feel like you guys are in the same boat as Dash was back in 2014. Because a lot of people misunderstood it then. And I had to go and tell a lot of people about Dash, and now I'm having to tell a lot of people about Hex. So this is one thing I think you guys are going through the same thing that we went through. And to some extent, we're still going through it. And that's what I mean. So when you ask if there's been pushback, yes, there has been. In fact, recently we lost our listing on Bittrex. It's one of the big crypto exchanges, and also Monero and Zcash. But again, we shouldn't have been lumped in with Monero and Zcash, and that's what we keep telling the regulators, and eventually they'll get the message. Because if you can do the same thing on Bitcoin, why are you singling us out?
Yeah. Well, I have an idea. I mean, I don't have the time nor the funding at this point in time. Maybe if there's a little bit of a price appreciation Hex, this can change. I need to get some. I really need to get some developers on it with me, but I have an idea, and I see the mechanism in which we could do, as long as it's set up in the right country, the main entity, where you could do a Hex to Dash swap. And I know exactly the mechanics and how it would work. I don't want to give away any trade secrets in case someone beats me to the punch on it. But if anyone wants to talk to me about it, let's talk. Especially if you're a developer, let's talk about it, because I have I have a way I think we can make this work, and we could get rid of the crypto banks altogether. Because that's one thing that Richard talks about quite often that really struck to the heart of a lot of us Hexicans is we essentially, Bitcoin was made to get rid of the existing financial system. Obviously it failed. It's a store of value. It's not a payment network like Dash is aiming to be, and already is much better in that regard than the old tech of Bitcoin. But essentially what we've done is we've replicated the legacy system in the crypto world and created these allowed these exchanges to hold on to our crypto and hold on to our money, much like the banks do. So we've replicated what we were trying to get rid of in the first place. And I see Hex being completely autonomous and trustless and 100% code with not having to give your keys to a third party as being one step closer to that. And then a payment network that's outside of any of the traditional finance like Dash. I think there's a beautiful marriage to be made there between the two.
Absolutely. This is the thing. You know how in the regular world they have like mergers, right? Corporate mergers to make it more competitive in the day-to-day space. So I think that could be like a merger between Hex and Dash to basically create the whole ecosystem that you need. Hex is a better store of value than Bitcoin, and Dash is a better payment network than Bitcoin. So why are you going to need Bitcoin? This is what I'm thinking. And there's so much 100%. Potential. There's so much potential for us as two communities that are down. Like Hex has been gatekept. Dash has been gatekept. A lot of people think that Dash is still a scam from way back then because it had a rocky launch. You know, like there's so much potential in this. If we can combine ourselves as a community and get that message out there, I think that there's so much potential in this merger. So if you know a way of getting it done, I'm going to keep harping on it all the time. When I'm on Twitter, I'm going to say, you know what, there's a need for this, but I'm not a developer. I'm just a guy, you know, I'm a guy who's passionate about crypto, and I'm pretty good with people. But I don't know anything about technology and stuff like that, right? So if somebody out there does know that, I will definitely support them 100%. So if you know what you're doing, or if you can get the team together, all the power to you, brother.
Well, you have a lot of the same limitations I do. I'm a business systems person. I'm a business owner, an entrepreneur. I like to put people and systems together and make the magic happen. But at the same time, I don't have the ability to do that myself. I can't write the code to make it happen. But I think there's a way that we can merge these two communities. And so everything that's been built, I mean, you guys are great that you guys have an organization that you guys fund to do the development. And I think that's great that your coin does that. And is it part of the reward system of the masternode that pays for that? Is that how that works?
Yeah, there's so many things in Dash that I could go through. We could be here like for an hour, but basically like there's front-facing attributes for Dash. So like that's your private send, your instant send, your ease of use and stuff like that. That's what the person sees, right? But behind the scenes, the organizational structure, that's also like pretty much groundbreaking in crypto. There was another group called the DAO in Ethereum that fell apart because it was hacked. But actually, before that, the Dash actually established the first DAO, the first decentralized autonomous organization. It predates that. So basically, how it works is it's to have the money, it comes from the block reward. So most like Bitcoin, they pay the miners. That's it, right? They pay the miners to dump the coins. That's it. But in Dash, we said, you know what? There's other people in the ecosystem that are deserving of some of this block reward. So we split it between the miners, the master nodes, and the treasury. So the miners, obviously, they do everything that the miners do. The master nodes, they perform the services, private send, instant send, and they vote on projects. And then the treasury is the one that we put money away every month to support various contractors that do various things. So, and part of this is the Dash Core Group, and the Dash Core Group is responsible for maintaining the code, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, but and if if you or a team that you said, okay, I know a way that we can hook up Dash to Hex, and this is what I'm going to do, and you make up a contract, or you go through the Dash Investment Foundation or something, and you say, this is what we're going to do, we're going to make it, and then the Dash network might pay you, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how it works. So you approach the Dash network, the master nodes will vote on your proposal. You have to pay 5 Dash to submit it to the network, and this is all done in a decentralized way. So the master nodes are going to look at this proposal, and if they're going to start voting on it, and if your proposal gets a net 10% of votes, so like say if there's 4,000 master nodes and you have 400 more yes votes than no votes, then your proposal is going to pass, and you'll get the money, and then you can do your project that you want to do.
Interesting. That's a
Yeah.
neat structure that you guys have.
Yeah.
So I see with your structure and your community coming together with the Hex community, everything that's been developed on Hex outside of the coin itself has been community driven and been community developed. So a great example of this is Firebun and Steph got together and they created what's called the Staker app. And I don't know if you've downloaded that and used that yet with Hex.
I check it every day.
So I'm a tester in there, and I go in there and try to break things and give my 2 cents as valuable or invaluable as my 2 cents may be. And they've got some really neat developments on the horizon that they'll be releasing soon, and I'll leave that to them to discuss what those are. But going back to our community is the one that develops these. I mean, all the websites that track the metrics for Hex have all been developed by the community. So if we could find a way to integrate those communities and then build these ramps together, I think there's a huge opportunity here.
Mhm.
If you got a savings account and you've got a checking account all on the blockchain and they can operate autonomously from the legacy finance, I don't even see a reason for the fiat on and off ramps any longer.
Nope. And this is the thing, what I'm saying, like anybody can do this, right? And this is one thing that I respect about the Hex community. And this is one reason why I want Dash to have exposure to the Hex community. You guys are like dogs, man. You're out there every day. You're out there promoting and just doing everything you can to promote Hex. And because you don't have a treasury, you're just doing it because you love the coin, right? Mm-hmm. And this is something that we need more of in Dash. Yes, we have a treasury, and that helps us to do like larger scale projects. But this is a downside of it, that there's also a lot of people that have this attitude, well, oh, they'll do it because they're getting paid by the treasury. And this is why I want to get our groove back, get that kind of like dog mentality that you guys have, and also have the professionalism that Dash has. We need to combine those communities and get a little bit of what makes each other great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I respect what you guys are doing, because I've been doing this for years with Dash. I've been on Twitter, like just promoting it all the time. Sometimes I was getting paid. I have gotten paid from the Dash network to do some stuff, but most of the time it's just me out there just doing it because I love Dash. And that's what I respect about you guys.
Well, I love that. So I've had an interest in Dash since 2016 when I started looking. And man, if I just would have known then what I know now, I probably would have a master node at this point in time. if only we had known, because the proof of stake mechanism and the master node mechanism was something that really drew me. I knew that there was staking your coin and getting more of it in return later was the future. RG3 had said that, Captain had said that last night on stream. And I knew it all along too. I got into several master nodes, which I will not name right now, but I got into several master nodes in 2017, 2018, just because I couldn't afford a Dash master node at that point in time.
But okay. I thought you meant you got into Dash master nodes. You got into other coins master. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, the knockoffs, all the knockoffs. So they pivoted into Pivx, and then Pivx, everything broke off from Pivx and used the Pivx wallet, and everyone was springing up their own master node coin at one point in time. And you guys have done it right. You're the only real existing master node coin that's still out there. So you can see my attraction to Hex with my background looking into masternode coins and specifically Dash, and then seeing that there's a way to do essentially Hex is a hybrid. It's a proof of stake and a proof of work hybrid, because obviously the substrate it runs on is a proof of work, but the actual inflation being paid to the staker class is an actual proof of stake, and it's done in a unique way that I've never seen before, and I don't think anyone in the crypto space has seen before. Even the knockoff coins can't seem to get it right. So I am ecstatic to see two communities with so much commonality between them, especially understand the store of value outside of the legacy finance, but also still want to be able to do payments and having the reward incentive structure that both coins have. I would love to see us come together.
Yeah.
So
there's money making opportunities on both sides. Like Whales and Hex could start Dash master nodes, and they can have a say in Dash's treasury. And also people that can't afford a master node in Dash, they can save on Hex. So it's kind of like this is like an ecosystem that we can create together. that's really exciting to me, with everything that Dash is building and what I know that Hex is accomplished and what they could accomplish in the future if they just get the word out there and they stop being gatekept on these places like CoinMarketCap, and they get more people out there, like say a Coinbase listing or something like a mainstream listing somewhere where they get more exposure. And I just think the potential for Hex is huge. Like right now, it's so small; it's like a baby.
It really is.
Yeah,
but it's got a great market cap, but the actual price appreciation is still yet to be determined because there's really so few people within the Hex ecosystem compared to some of the other coins and some of the other projects out there. But a lot of that has to do with the gatekeeping. A lot of it has to do, and it goes back to why Dash as well as Hex have been gatekept and called scams, is because people with big bags of other coins don't want you to come in and promote the new coin that they don't have a bag of. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of bias towards the coins that people are already holding. So when you see people on Twitter trying to push their bag, it's because they've got a bag of it and they want it to appreciate so they can dump it on everyone else's heads. And I'm not even going to say that the Hexicans aren't that way as well, but I think where the similarities with Dash and Hex communities lie are that we both understand that we don't want to give up the goose that lays the golden eggs. So you don't want to give up your Dash masternode. I don't want to give up my Hex principal, and we just want to spend the interest or the coin inflation that comes out of the staking mechanism for both those coins. And so I think we get that where a lot of the other communities in crypto don't.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that like the way the Hex works is the staking gets paid to the people that hold up the price. The stakers that are actually positioning themselves at the end of the line, the 15-year stakers, the 5555, they're the ones that are getting the most rewards. And I find that the game theory of Hex is just crazy. A lot of times people will say, oh, it's a multi-level marketing scam because you guys had a referral program for the first year. But it's not like I go under you and then somebody else goes under me. It's just a one level of marketing. Like a whole bunch of different companies do this. So like I don't think Hex should be singled out for that. But the other game theory that it has, it's just the amount of thought that went into this is just amazing to me, and the timing that went into it. Because I think Richard knew that because of the 4-year cycle usually that happens with bull runs in Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, that this was going to be set up at a perfect time where it would just take off. It hasn't really taken off too much yet, but I think it just had that little run from up to the all-time high, and now it's kind of consolidating a little bit right now. But I think when the time comes for it to take off again, it's going to take off in a big way.
Yeah. Oh, I think so too. I think the timing, it was so serendipitous the way that the timing worked out, because I'm pretty confident they would have released earlier if they hadn't run into so many problem solving and mathematical problem solving things that they needed to fix before they released. And they wanted to release a finished product, which was really smart on Richard's behalf to not put out a promise coin that, hey, here's a roadmap of failed promises that we'll fail to meet at these specific dates that we promise you guys we're going to, like so many other coins do.
Yeah.
But a lot of us here in the community that have been following Richard for at least 3 years when he first started talking about doing his own coin, all of us are very aware of the phrase 4 more weeks, 4 more weeks, 4 more weeks.
Soon,
every 4 weeks it was like, we got about 4 more weeks and we're ready to go. We got about 4 more weeks and we're ready to go. So, but I'm glad that he didn't just rush it to market and made sure it was a finished product. So now we're ready to build. We as the community are ready to build, systems and build new technologies on top of Hex. And I see a bridge to Dash as a huge opportunity for the right people.
Well, let's hope that theory spreads to other people, because the more people that have their eyes on that, the more people that think that it's a good idea, the more likely that there's going to be something done about it. So I'm really excited about that. If there's some technical-minded people come in, they even if they want to talk to me and they want me to discuss it online or with my YouTube channel, I'd be more than happy to do so. I'll help in any way that I can. I just want to get that going, and hearing you say that today, that made my day today. That knowing that somebody else out there could see the value in it. So if you can see the value in it, and you're promoting it to your Hexicans through this channel and other means, then eventually that somebody's going to come up with a way to do it, whether it be you or another team, and that's going to benefit everybody. And I'm happy with that.
I'm okay with that too. I would like to not be cut out of it, but if I am and it becomes a reality, that's fine as well. But it was actually you and Coffee's interview where my wheels just started cranking. I said, I think I know the mechanism in which we could make this happen. Now, unfortunately, it would probably create, unless a developer knows a better way than I do to interact with the two blockchains and try to make as many of the transactions on the blockchain itself. There may have to be just a third party, and then that third party is going to have to be set up in the right country, because as we know, there's a lot of countries that aren't super crypto friendly yet. I think they're behind the curve by not wanting the adoption with this new technology, and I think you're going to see some new nation states become winners because of crypto.
Yeah,
I think
I
the
agree.
ones that adopt this and are willing to be lenient on the regulations and allow for the incubation of these products, I think those will be the winners. And I have a few on mind that I would think about setting up, but they're costly. It's costly to do at this point in time. So we're gonna need some whales to really step in there and I think make it possible. And I like the idea of some of the Hex whales getting into the Dash master nodes and having some say there. And then the guys that can't afford the master nodes getting some Hex and Dash and creating a store of value there between the two. I think that's great. I didn't even think about that aspect, that angle.
Yeah, and also the fact that we're both so young in our history, and we've both been gatekept. There's still a lot of potential there. So recently, Dash entered a partnership with CrayPay. And this is one of the things that are getting funded by the Dash network. It's called the Dash Investment Foundation. This is also a decentralized entity. So basically, the Dash network owns this entity that can be our forward-facing avenue for investments, and they enter into legal contracts. So they entered into a legal contract with CrayPay, which is like a loyalty program. So you have an app on your phone. You can go around to your town, and there's places next to you that are offering discounts for paying with Dash. And you can go and actually pay with Dash, and you can realize an instant savings right away. So this was my last video that I came up with. So say, for example, if you go to a Subway and you buy a sub for $10, you pay $10 and the company will send you a $10 gift card, so you can pay it right away. But your credit card will only be charged $9.50, right? If they offer you a 5% discount. So this gives Dash a use case and a good place to spend it in all over the world. So right now, basically, the CrayPay app is with credit card, but I think within 2 to 3 months, they're going to build a Dash version, so you can actually use your Dash in all kinds of places around you. Yeah. So this is a middleman step, but eventually we want it to be able to just use your Dash. But obviously, this is something that we need to build towards. Yeah. And if the Hex community can help us build towards that, that's great. Because I know how you fight for Hex and how the amount of energy you guys put into that. If you guys could get some passion for the Dash side of it too, that'd be awesome.
Well, we've been likened as piranhas and hyenas on Twitter, so
and for good reason. And I chuckled when I saw that. I did see that too, and it's true, because they're saying that because you guys believe in the product. You guys aren't bots. Like I'll admit, when I first started tweeting about Hex, and all these people answered me, I did think that they were bots. But then eventually I saw your live streams. I saw people in person and everything else. I said, no, man, these guys are just passionate in a huge way. And mad props for that. Like, I'm really, I don't know what Richard Hart has built here. It's crazy.
It's been magnetic to certain personalities to come towards. And I have never seen a community like Hex in the way that I've never seen so many non-paid people get on a stream and say, I support Hex, and I'm not even getting paid to be here. So, I mean, there's a lot of crypto influencers on YouTube, but let's be honest, they're just paid shills. 99% of them. And if they're not getting paid by a coin, they're getting paid by a leverage contract to wreck their followers and get a referral fee for it. So I see communities like Dash and Hex actually there to try to build a better world and create real solutions to problems that exist, instead of creating a solution to a problem that doesn't exist and then trying to formulate a problem that exists. So I see this as a great step, and even if it's a third-party app like yours with CrayPay, I think baby steps at this point in time until the technology's there. Yeah. It's just a matter of time with development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on well with like I said, the biggest development that we've been working on actually for 5 years, since 2015. was the Dash Evolution, which is the Dash platform, which was, like I was telling you, was like a decentralized app store basically. So you could sign in as a user with your username and password, and now you have access to this whole ecosystem of apps, and you can use whatever they have. Like say Amazon eventually decides to accept it and be on the Dash platform. So you can have an Amazon app which strictly uses Dash. I mean, this is obviously long-term future. I'm not expecting this to happen next week. But there's smaller places that might want to start like say like an eBay type of thing on Dash platform. So this is something that has never been done before in crypto. You basically have like a Venmo type payment experience on the DashPay app. So like I can say, Kinetics, you're one of my contacts on Dash platform. So I'm going to send you money instead of your big long address, and that address changes automatically each time. So you maintain your privacy that way. So it's awesome. Like this something like when this comes out, I'm going to post it on Twitter and make sure you download a DashPay app because it's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, I definitely will. I'm going to have to get myself some Dash just to play with it.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just send it on the network. Send it to some of the other Hexicans just to say, hey, you guys play with this as well. And then I think we continue moving forward, you and I, Chris, and the rest of our communities, seeing what we can do to bring the bridge those communities and see what we can do to on-ramp to and from each other's coin without having to even touch the fiat or any of these crypto banks, aka the exchanges.
Yeah, the less amount of hops you have to go through, the better. Like you know how to change Hex to ETH to Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin to Dash. Too many hops, right? Just go Hex to Dash. Somebody start a Hexadash exchange. And that'd be cool. That actually sounds like a good name, hexadash.com. You know, like
Hexadash.
So somebody jump on that one. No,
yeah,
I
like that.
But I think that if you have something like that, like you can do it in a decentralized way, it's gonna be good. Like I don't think it'll have too much at the beginning, too much usage, because like I say, we're both kind of small currencies at the moment. But as we grow, that liquidity will just grow in there, and then it's going to be a lot easier to do. And once we can do that, once we set it up and get it going, yeah, it's going to be magical, man.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you really don't need the exchanges any longer once everybody has a wallet, because things get a lot more efficient there. So I guess we'll continue pushing on our end, you continue pushing on your end, and wherever there's a joint effort, let's continue doing that as well. But let's just keep getting people to download wallets.
Sounds good, man.
Well, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really just wanted to, extend a hand of friendship, extend the olive branch, and I know you're a Hexican now too. You too are staked, I believe.
I am. Actually, I have I'm kind of like a lightweight in the Hex community. Like I have quite a bit of Hex, but I haven't staked it for such a long time like you guys have. Like I think my longest stake is a year. It used to be 2 weeks, right? But now it's a year. And as I get more comfortable and really start to get more confidence in the system, I'll start lengthening my stakes a little bit more. So because I went from 2 weeks to a year, that's quite a big step for me. So
yeah.
Eventually I'm going to go more like try to get over that average. I have like 4.5 years or something.
Yep, 4.87, I think.
4.87.
Yeah.
So I have like 5 year stakes. But yeah, I think it's definitely something that I would get into. But when it comes to the amount of time, yeah, I'm still a lightweight. But Matty Allin, I guess, is one of your community members. He organized the Hex Exchange conference.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me 5,555 to stake for 5,555 days.
That's what I was going to say. You just got to do 5,555 for Cuatro Cinco days, and you are officially a dyed-in-the-wool Hexican.
Absolutely. So now I'm on the Discord and I got my special status and everything. So I'm all good to go.
That's right. You're a Hexican.
Eventually, I want to put my own money into it though, so I can be more of an authentic Hexican.
There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, again, I really appreciate you coming on today. Let's keep talking in Twitter.
Yep.
And if any of you go ahead and shill your information, where can people find you?
Okay. Well, I'll start with finding out information about Dash. So if you go to www.dash.org, dash.org, that's where you're going to find all the information about Dash. If you're interested in Dash platform, if you're a developer, you want to develop on Dash platform, or you just want to find out about it, you can go to dashdevs.org. So it's the same thing, Dash with the devs, devs.org. and that's going to give you all kinds of information about platform and a link to go to the developer Discord. So that's a lot of like-minded people that are working on things. Maybe you can try to find out a way to get that Hex Dash working, like actually start working on it in the Discord. So that might be something that you're actually interested in. As far as me, I'm Tao of Satoshi on Twitter, and my YouTube channel is Cash Alternative TV on YouTube.
Perfect. Well, as most of you Hexicans know, and if you haven't been watching the Discord Syndicate, I am Kinetics, and we are glad that you guys joined us today. I hope you guys will reach out, look up Chris and Tao of Satoshi on Twitter, look into the Dash brand and what they are trying to accomplish within the crypto space as a payment network as well as an app store. And I think there's a lot of value between the two of us that can be had. And so I hope the rest of you guys will check it out. And thank you guys for joining Discord Syndicate.